Ladies and gentlemen, we're roughly 24 hours out from the release of the Satisfactory 1.0 update, and that begs the question, where are you guys going to be starting your brand new playthroughs when the update comes out? Well, in this video, we're going to be talking about the 4 different starting locations, giving you guys the pros and cons of each of them, and for me personally, which one I'm going to be starting in my brand new playthrough. So the 4 main starting areas are the grass fields, which is ideally for like first time players. We have the rocky desert, the northern forest, and the Dune Desert. Now we're going to go into game, take a little tour around these biomes so you guys can kind of get a lay of the land, talk about the pros and the cons, and kind of my personal experience with them, because I have had a satisfactory playthrough that has started in each of these 4 biomes. So I have a good amount of experience when it comes to just starting out in these biomes. The first biome we're going to talk about here is the Grasslands biome. This is usually considered kind of the beginner's biome. Your first playthrough, you'll honestly probably start here, but for me personally, after my first playthrough, I did not play here at all. But honestly, I think that's kind of a mistake. I think this biome is honestly a little bit slept on, mainly because it's very flat and a lot of good area to build in. Also, it's just a very good, lush, and like beautiful looking biome in general. So if you guys are going for more like good looking builds, you guys can build some pretty cool things here. And now the only kind of downside about this biome is that the node purity is relatively low. It has a good amount of nodes, as you guys can see, but most of them are going to be impure, so you guys aren't going to be able to get quite as many resources. And especially right off the bat, you guys aren't going to have as many power shards. But even though the purity isn't that great, I still think having a base here would be pretty cool. Like I said, it looks very beautiful, a lot of cool things around here, and a lot of flat land to build on. You guys can build all sorts of cool builds around here. And honestly, in general, I think it's a relatively slept on biome. I definitely think it's very viable to do in the new update. Now, while we're on our way over here to the forest biome, something I want to mention is in the 1.0 update, a few of the nodes are actually going to be changed around. So some of your spots that you guys really liked in, let's say the 0.8 update, they might be a little bit different in the 1.0. You guys can actually check out where all the new nodes are going to be and what the purity rates are going to be. So I'd highly recommend you guys go check out that map before you guys make your final decision, because some things are definitely going to change. It's going to be nothing too major. The nodes are relatively going to be the same, but just a couple things here and there that might be good to know. Up next here, we have the northern forest, which is usually my go-to starting location, and that's mainly for 2 factors. Number 1, it has this amazing starting place right here with a bunch of nodes. As you can see there's a couple copper nodes. We have 4 iron nodes right there, some quartz nodes. We have coal across the water there and a bunch of water for a coal power plant. And then we have limestone here, and then there's another one down the hill. And the starting location has been one of the most overpowered in the game for quite a while now. I believe they might be switching around a couple of the nodes here and whatnot, but it's just been so strong, and it's always a great place to start off. And the number 2 reason why I usually end up picking this biome is, as you guys can see, there's so many trees and shrubs around that it's really easy to get biomass in the early game. As you guys will see in the 2 more desert-like biomes, it's a lot harder to get a lot of biomass early on in the game. So this is just a great way to, go around, farm up a bunch of biomass. And now that we know in the update 1.0, we're going to be able to feed biomass into biomass burners via conveyor belt. This is going to be a great way to get a lot of early game power and really not have to venture out too far to go get it. But I'm going to be honest, other than this point of really good nodes around here, the rest of the forest is relatively not that great. I mean, there's a couple nodes here and there, but nothing too crazy, and it's very hilly and it's hard to build a lot of good stuff in this area. So really, other than this kind of coastline of the biome here, it's really not that great overall. But if you guys are looking for a lot of biomass, that's kind of the main advantage that you guys are getting with this biome. Now for me personally, I've started here so many times that I'm actually going to switch it up and change to a new biome. And like I said, I'm going to tell you guys what that's going to be here at the end of the video. But next, we're going to head over to the Dune Desert. Little side note here, while I'm flying over to the Dune Desert, I really rarely ever fly around in the God and flight mode in this game. And I just realized how massive the map actually is in this game. Like, you really never see it from this high up. My God, this game has a massive map. Just kind of want to make a little sidebar on that, because yeah, this game is pretty awesome, and I'm just so excited for the next update. I'm going to be playing this game legitimately non-stop and, making a lot of videos on it. So make sure you guys like the video and you're subscribed to the channel so you guys see all of those. Next up here, we have the Dune Desert. Now, as you guys can see, it is a relatively flat biome with a lot of good nodes, and a lot of them actually have pretty good purity. Now, the one drawback, like I said earlier, is going to be if you guys are anywhere out in this main area, you guys are going to have to come by this water source here to get any biomass, which can be a pretty long trip, especially if you guys are kind of in the central part of the biome. What I usually find myself doing is starting somewhere else, and then once I have a lot of resources and like coal power and stuff like that where I don't need biomass anymore, then I usually end up coming here and building some of my very large builds and mega factories. because like I said, it's just such an open space and it's very nice, and it's not bad for starting by any means. It's definitely doable to have a good save start here, but usually and generally people kind of come here later on in the game to make their really big factories and large builds. Now the last biome we're going to talk about here is the Rocky Desert. This is probably the biome that I see myself using the least. However, I do have one save, probably my largest Satisfactory save ever, hundreds and hundreds of hours in it, did actually start in this biome. And I'm honestly a really big fan of it. I just kind of always forget about it. First off, there's a lot of great nodes around with pretty good purity. It's relatively flat. It's got some elevation changes, especially on this part, but overall you guys can definitely get a decent amount of, good building area around. And you guys have some water around here. You guys can see some streams and whatnot for water pumps. And yeah, I think this biome just has a very good balance. It's got a little bit of everything. It's got still a decent amount of biomass. It's got good nodes, a little bit of water, and just overall, yeah, very well balanced and kind of a slept on one in my opinion. Now that begs the question, where am I going to be starting my 1.0 playthrough? And it's something that I really didn't see myself doing, but then I thought about it a little bit and it was clear to me I wanted to do it in the grass fields biome. Now the main reason I'm doing it over here is mainly because, like I said, there's a lot of great flat area to build and the biome just looks very pretty in general. And for this Satisfactory playthrough, while yes, I am going for efficiency and great factories, I also want them to look good at the same time. So I want to kind of work on my building skills throughout this, and I think this biome is going to do that great. But I think overall there's still an abundant amount of resources for you guys, especially in the early game. And then like I said, I'll branch out into places like the Dune Desert and build large factories, but I think just for my beginner factories and having everything small and quaint and everything, I think the grass fields are going to be great for that. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I have to talk about here in this video. Let me know down in the comments below where you guys are going to be starting your playthrough, and I'll see you guys all in the next video very soon. Peace.